And gentlemen, I'm Aaron Smith and I'm going to do a review of the new 2019 Trek Marlin 7. That's what we've got here. This bike has an all-new design frame compared to the previous few years. I've been watching it for about a year, and this year I decided to jump on it. And so it's probably, right now it's August of 2018. So 2019 bike, it's being released early. I guess that's how Trek does it. So I just got this bike the day before yesterday, and to tell you a little bit about myself before I describe the bike, I am 6 feet 7 inches tall. I'm an athlete. I did the decathlon in college, which is, for those of you who don't know, whoever's the best decathlete in the world is crowned the best athlete in the world. And so I was a decathlete for Texas A&M University, and after I graduated and went to graduate school, I had a year of eligibility. I ran for the University of Texas too. So the decathlon requires a lot of sprinting, endurance, and jumping ability, throwing ability. So I'm an athlete, got a lot of endurance. But what happened to me about 7 years ago is I got in a horse riding accident and I lost my leg, my right leg above the knee. So I didn't ride a bike until about 5 months ago. I got a Trek FX3 and I figured out how to ride, and I've been riding my bike 3 weeks ago, I rode my Trek FX3. It's a different bike. I rode it 116 miles. So I figured out, obviously, how to ride a bike. But the problem with that bike is it can't go on rough terrain. And so I wanted a bike I can go anywhere on, so I bought this Marlin 7. What I like about the Marlin 7, why I got it instead of the Marlin 5, is because it's got rock shocks in the front. And so we've got these adjustments here. You can lock out the rock shocks right here, or you can not lock them out. I actually don't like them locked out because there's a preload here, and however you can make it to where you turn it towards the plus, and every time you turn it a certain amount, it kind of locks in there, and then you can turn it a little further and then it'll kind of fall into a notch. But I've got it adjusted right where I want it, to where it does. The spring is kind of stiff, but you can make it to where it's real loose. But it really gives when I hit, rocks or dips, potholes in the road. It's perfect. I really like it. The other one, the Marlin 5 and the Marlin 6, they've got a different shock. It's a little different. It's just not a rock shocks, and so this is a little higher grade, higher quality. I'm sure I'm paying a little bit for the brand name, but I like it a lot. Also, because I'm missing a leg, I decided I wanted more gears than were available for the Trek Marlin 6 and Marlin 5. This has 27 gears, so I can't generate as much force as somebody with 2 real legs when I'm going uphill. So I need to put it down into a gear where I can just spin and get up the hill, So I wanted as many gears as I could get. This has 27 gears. I really like that. So the seat, one thing I've figured out is that it's not as much about the seat as it is about the bike shorts you wear. So I wear padded bike shorts, and I use this stuff called chamois butter that I put on places that would normally get irritated after riding a long time. But still, that being said, this seat is still a little narrow, and I would put the seat that I've got. I may end up putting the seat that I have on my FX3 that just came with that bike. May end up putting the same seat here, replacing this seat. But we've got what's called a accommodations for a dropper post. So this is like 31.6 centimeters, whereas the last year it was around 27 millimeters. So this is 31 millimeters. So it's wider, bigger around. This tube is bigger around to accommodate what's known as a dropper post. Now this is not a dropper post, but it's bigger around, and so it's got this welded on reinforcement here. It's really tough, so it's not going to bend, and if it did, you know, it's under warranty. But it comes with 2-inch tires in the back and 2.2-inch tires in the front. What I did was I initially just right away switched those out. I wanted a little wider because I've already got a road bike, or you know, the hybrid for the road. So what I did was I asked them to put 2.3-inch wide tires in the front, and we took the front tire off and put it in the back. So I've got a 2.2-inch tire in the back, and I don't know if I can get down there to where you can see, but we do have enough clearance, plenty of clearance with the 2.2-inch tire in the back. So see there we have our clearance right there. It's just fine. So for those of you who wonder what you can fit, that you could actually fit bigger, but what Trek recommended was the biggest tire size for the back, 2.2-inch, 2.3-inch for the front. But looking at the clearance in the front, I think we could probably fit like a 2.4, maybe a 2.5-inch tire. So these are the gear shifters. And the brakes are hydraulic. They use, it even says it. I don't know if you can see that, but it says mineral oil. I've never used these kind of brakes before. It's my first time to have hydraulic brakes. But apparently there's a little piston in here, right in there, and so when I pull right here, it pushes that piston down, compresses the hydraulic fluid, and makes those brakes activate and compress the discs. So they work great. They're good for rainy weather, apparently. I haven't ridden in the rain yet, but... So I decided to get a little pump here, carry an extra tube that I put in the saddlebag that I got here. So if I get a flat, I don't want to just fix it on the road, I'll just replace it and put the flat tube in the saddlebag and then fix it when I get home. But this is because I'm 6 feet 7 inches tall, I decided to get a 23-inch frame. And this, what I really notice is how this goes down. You know, I'm used to bikes that, like, it starts out here and goes straight across to there. But the reason they did that is because of the dropper post. I've never used one, but I've done a little research, and apparently you run a cable from the dropper post up here, you press a button, and it causes the whole thing to just go down. And the seat stays down low when you're barreling down a mountain, which I can't do because of my prosthetic situation. I can't just stand up while I'm riding, so I decided not to get a dropper post. But I really like the bike. For me, the added value of getting the MARLIN 7 is worth the cost. So the cost of this bike is $750. However, I got it on sale for $700 even. And so then you got to throw in tax and everything else you want to get with it. But I'll show you how I ride it. I'll set this camera down and show you how I do it. But this is a review for everybody, all you two-legged folks. You know, it's really designed for you, so the review is for you. You know, there aren't many people in the world who are missing a leg who ride a bicycle. Most people who are missing a leg ride, you know, they use a wheelchair or a hand cycle, you know, so it's a little dangerous, but I've got it figured out. And what I do is I use this, for those of you who are amputees, I use a trekking pole on my amputated side because I'm going to strap this foot in, this rubber foot into the pedal as soon as I unlock the knee. I put it in what's called the free swing phase. So it just bends like a door hinge. And then I strap it in here with this strap. the leather strap that I made. So now my foot's stuck in there. If I lean to the right, I'll just fall over. And so I've got this trekking pole. I carry it. I've got my real foot over here, my trekking pole over here, and that way I can keep balance when I'm riding, or mainly when I'm slowing down. I won't risk falling over. Especially on a mountain bike, you're going to go slow and be in situations where you're going to be off balance a little bit, and you're going to put your feet down. So I put left foot down, right trekking pole down, and then when I'm ready to go, I just hold it like this, go like this, and then I just take off. And so now you can't see me, unfortunately, because I've just got my cell phone sitting there on the ground, but that's how I do it. So I'm going to unstrap. But I really like it because of the strength, how strong it is. It's made out of alpha silver aluminum, whereas my Trek FX3 is made out of alpha gold aluminum. So it's a little heavier, but it's still just as strong. I weigh about 220 pounds. This is rated for a person who weighs up to 300 pounds. I've seen videos on YouTube of people who weigh more than 300 pounds riding them, but I would suspect you just got to be careful if you weigh more than 300 pounds. But that's the maximum weight limit rating for this bike. Alright, so there you go. If you have any questions, comment in the questions section if I upload this on YouTube. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, I'd be happy to answer your questions. And thank you, Trek, for making a great bike. Alright, this concludes the video. As soon as I press the button and turn it off.